For you, what do you think is that new 100K? And then also, what do you think is that $1 million mark?
I think the new 100K is 300K. I don't think that you're not setting the world on fire with 100K until you hit 300K. It gets a little tough to really live a lifestyle that's extravagant, or nice dinners and things like that. 100K, you're just kind of scraping by. So I think 300K is the new 100K. As far as what's the new $1 million, I'd say probably $3 million. I'd probably just multiply it by 3 again and say that it's really not anything until it gets to $3 million. Just, and especially like living in Austin or Scottsdale, like we live in expensive parts of the country, but like if you want to live anywhere cool, it's going to cost you money. So I think for most of the cool places in the country, yeah, you're going to have to multiply that old norm by 3, and that's going to be the new. But I also believe the opportunity to make more money, like there's never been a greater opportunity to make money than there is now.
Book or podcast you would recommend, first, the person who's just getting started, and then second, the person that's looking to take it to the next level and scale?
That's a really good question. Book that's for the first person who's getting started, it would probably be, it's going to be a really basic book, but probably Rich Dad Poor Dad, just because like the principles, right? If it's somebody who's just getting in the world of finance and understanding like how this all works, the principles of Rich Dad Poor Dad are fantastic. So I think that book is great for anybody getting started in like entrepreneurship, financial independence, learning how to actually retire, like anything is just going to, like that book is going to answer a lot of questions for you. As far as a book for somebody who's looking to scale, I think The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel is an incredible book. And reason being is I think it teaches you a lot about the ways that you've been operating. Like, why have you been operating the way you've been operating? So that way you can reel back a lot of those things and say like, okay, well, I only did this because of this. So now you can reel back and say, okay, well, what if I got rid of that back there? How would I look at things differently? You can start to ask yourself those questions. And when you start asking yourself those questions, you really start to learn about the amount of risk you want to take. And you start to learn about just why you think, like why you feel the way you do about taking certain risks or taking on certain projects. And you can start to identify that why. So like if you have an opportunity to do something big and for some reason you're hesitant about it, it's a lot easier to take that step when you can identify the why. Whereas when the why is just completely like foreign to you, like if you're just going to be scared, right? It's just going to be fear, but fear becomes a lot less scary whenever you can identify why you're feeling the fear at all. So for somebody who's looking to like scale a business, who's looking to scale their investment portfolio, scale their real estate, scale anything. Once you've kind of had that base financial knowledge of like, okay, I have the tools for how to do this, but what's going to actually allow me to do it? I think it's a lot more emotional than tactical. So that's my opinion. Probably a different book than you were expecting to hear, but I just think that I think that risk taking is a lot more emotional than tactical. I think most of us, if we've been in the game long enough, we know the tactics on how to do it. We can usually copy and paste the process, or even take the time that it's going to take to refine our processes a little bit. But it's more about like, what are those emotions and feelings that are causing us to really not take that leap?
I'm going to have to get that book. You sold me on it.
Yeah, it's a really, really interesting book. Morgan Housel's great. He's got 2 books. I'd recommend the other one, Same as Ever, as well. They're incredible books. Very good conceptual books. Another great business book. I got to give a third one here. Is The Road Less Stupid. That book is incredible.
I haven't heard of that one either.
It's by Keith Cunningham. Incredible, incredible book. He was a real estate investor who had, I forget what the number was, but I want to say 150 million, 200 million under management and lost it all. And he's built back an extremely successful business now, much more successful than his last business ever was. And if you want to talk about some real business gems, that book has incredible, incredible information. And it's for a book that you can be in any type of business. And it's also a book that you don't have to read in order. So you can just open it up to a random chapter and read every chapter as a lesson. Incredible, incredible book.
Well, you made up for the first one, the Rich Dad Poor Dad, the easy answer.
It's so basic. It's so basic. It's so hard to answer that question too, because I was in that stage 10 years ago. It's so hard to remember what were the things that, the books that might have changed my life back then. But I can definitely remember the ones that are changing my life now, you know?
I agree. Rich Dad Poor Dad got me into it as well. Like got me into stocks that I then spent all this money I made in stocks invested into real estate. So it's still the gateway drug into entrepreneurship.
It is. It's a really easy answer, but it serves a very integral purpose in almost every entrepreneur's life. But I think that if you're an entrepreneur who's looking to like scale, I would definitely recommend The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel and The Road Less Stupid by Keith Cunningham. I think both of those books are they're just incredible. They should get more recognition than they get, for sure.